Hello everyone. Let us discuss section 7 of unit 1 of financial accounting 3. In this session we are going to discuss something about the preparation of a revaluation account. In the previous session we have discussed the important journal entries that appears in the books of account of partnership firm at the time of admission. We have understood what are the journal entries that appear in the books of the firm relating to admission of a partner. When we are discussing important stages in the accounting adjustment of admission of a partner, we have understood there will be preparation of revaluation account. Here revaluation account need to be prepared for the purpose of bringing value of assets and liabilities to their true value. Here it is very simple to understand that whatever may be the value of assets that appears in the balance sheet as on the day of admission, in that all partners including the new partner will be having share. So the old partners over a period of time they may need or they may require some adjustments in the value of assets and liabilities. There may be any increase or decrease in the value of asset or liability. There may be any unrecorded liability or unrecorded asset in the final accounts of the partnership firm in the previous year. So they want to incorporate all such changes. That means bringing any change, either increase in value of asset or decrease in value of asset, or recording unrecorded asset or recording unrecorded liability. They have a method, that is preparation of revaluation account. Here revaluation account is prepared to give effect of any increase or decrease in the value of asset or liability, or for the purpose of recording unrecorded asset or liability. So revaluation account or preparation of revaluation account is the first important stage, you could say, in the accounting of partnership firm at the time of admission, where the value of assets and liabilities are brought to the true value or their original value. Here any increase or decrease in the value of asset or liability will be recorded. Unrecorded assets and unrecorded liability will be accounted for or recorded for, and there will be a procedure in recording transactions in the revaluation account. I think you can better understand it with the help of all the journal entries we have discussed in session 6 of this unit. Now revaluation account will be helpful for bringing the value of assets and liabilities to their true value. All the assets and liabilities, the unrecorded asset or liability, can be recorded and accounted for in the revaluation account. Any profit or loss that is being derived in this revaluation account will be transferred to the old partner's capital account in their old profit sharing ratio. This is the procedure. Now there are some instances where revaluation account may not be prepared. Here it is one instance where if all the partners decide to see that any increase or decrease in the value of asset or liability should be brought into account or it should be accounted for, but that changes they incorporate in that stage, that should not have any effect on the balance sheet. In the sense, they want to alter the value of assets and liabilities, but they don't want to bring changes in the value of assets and liabilities in the value of assets that appear in the balance sheet. In the sense, in the balance sheet they don't want to bring any changes. At that time they may prepare another statement called memorandum revaluation account. Here to understand, memorandum revaluation account is that account that is being prepared in the place of revaluation account if all the partners decide to alter the value of assets and liabilities at the time of admission, but they don't want to show that alteration of value in the assets and liabilities in the balance sheet. Here in the balance sheet the same value of assets and liabilities will appear as that of previous year, but any increase or decrease in the value of asset and liability will be accounted for. Here memorandum revaluation account is prepared in such cases. The memorandum revaluation account we prepare will be having two parts. There are two parts in the memorandum revaluation account. The first part is the part as usual to the revaluation account. In the first part of memorandum revaluation account, the same revaluation account is prepared. Here in revaluation account we know there will be recording of increase and decrease in the value of assets and liabilities, then recording unrecorded asset, recording unrecorded liability, and deriving the profit or loss. But in the second part, there is a provision of reverse entries. Reverse entries in the sense cancellation entries. As such, the entire balance that we record in the first part, that will be transferred to the partner's capital account directly, and it will not be carried forward to the balance sheet. So when the cancellation entries are passed, the net effect will be any change that you bring in the memorandum revaluation account, that will not be going to the balance sheet. As such, the balance sheet value of assets and liabilities will remain the same. In the sense, prior to admission and after admission, the values doesn't change. This is what the memorandum revaluation account. Now, let us try to understand the revaluation account with the help of the pro forma or the format. Here, in the case of revaluation account, it is a T-table format, the debit side and the credit side. In the debit side, there will be one type of transaction that's being recorded, and the credit side, another nature of transactions that will be recorded. Now, let us try to understand with the help of pro forma. Here in the debit side of revaluation account, we record the transactions like decrease in the value of asset. Here you can say debit side is the minus side. So, decrease in the value of asset, increase in the value of liability, and unrecorded liability will be recorded in the debit side of the revaluation account. Here you may be knowing, when you recall the journal entry, you will understand, when there is decrease in the value of asset, you may be knowing the asset will be credited. So, revaluation account debtor to concerned asset account. So, concerned asset account is debited to revaluation account. Then the concerned liability account will be debited in case of increase in liability. Then unrecorded liability will be entered in the debit side of the revaluation account. Now, when it comes to the credit side, we can say in the credit side, any increase in the value of asset, then any decrease in the value of liability. In the sense, it can be taken as a plus side. Credit side of revaluation account can be taken as a plus side, where any increase in the value of asset, any decrease in the value of liability, and unrecorded asset. If there is any unrecorded asset, it will be recorded in the credit side of the revaluation account. So once we record all the transactions, here may be knowing, that if there is any provision and all these things should be recorded. Here provision can be taken as a liability again, so it will come to the debit side. So all the transactions should be recorded in the debit side or in the credit side, depending on the situation or depending on the nature of the transaction. Then at the end, you should derive the final balance or the end balance, or we can say balancing figure. That balancing figure should be carried forward to the partner's capital account, that is old partner's capital account. Here there is a procedure that you have to derive the full value first, then you have to divide it among the old partners in their old profit sharing ratio. So if there is profit, it will be taken like 2 profit transferred to old partner's capital account. If there is loss, it will be like by loss transferred to old partner's capital account in the old profit sharing ratio. This is how we will prepare the revaluation account. This is the format of revaluation account. Here is the references. I'll stop my discussion here. Thank you.